Hello, monsters abound here, and welcome to Anvil Saga, which is a blacksmithing sim, 2D on, buildy type game. It's quite nice. The aesthetic is quite nice. Let's just open the shop here for a second. And I've quite enjoyed my time with it, with some caveats. This is a game that's currently in early access. It released a few days ago. The company that produced this game only have one other game on Steam, and it has mixed reviews because it sounds like it was fairly badly bugged and it was just kind of abandoned. So, not great off the bat. And I've hit some pretty major bugs in this game. Now, there's two modes that you can play. There's campaign and there's also sandbox. Now, I'm currently playing sandbox because I was playing campaign, but I hit some major issues that basically meant that I couldn't continue. Now, the campaign has a bit more storyline going on. There's characters involved. There's a bit of a romance kind of type thing. There's people coming and talking to you and giving you options about how you want to react to that. So the campaign looks quite interesting. It's certainly more interesting than sandbox, where you're kind of just... The gameplay loop is fine. But I do think that I do think you need the campaign. So basically, you have Arthur here. It's this character here. He's your protagonist, and you have your smithy. So we've got a little house here. We've got a little kitchen. There's another building that I built recently, and you can hire additional workers. So we've got Gendry here. He's my minor smelter. And you can open your shop by opening your shop here, and then people come and buy stuff from you. So fairly basic. And the things that they want require various different amounts of resources, take different amounts of time, and they'll give you money. So, for example, there's a witch here. So she wants a cauldron. This is going to take 3 ingots, but they're going to give me 8 copper for it. So I can accept that order. Now, it will say the worker doesn't possess technology, but I do. So that's fine. And we currently have 25 ingots. That's because Gendry here has been smelting them for us. Now, I've run out of the ore which I use to smelt the ingot, so I need more ore. Now, fortunately, I've built a mine down here. So what we can do is we can send Gendry down the mine with his good mining equipment that I purchased from this shop. So there's a shop here where you can buy ore if you can't be bothered to mine it. You can buy ingots if you can't be bothered to smelt them. There's also books here for different bits of research. So, for example, being able to make better weapons and armor and stuff, and that means people will come and ask for that stuff, and you can actually supply that requirement for them. Otherwise, it will just go, you can't actually make this, so you can't accept this. Well, you can accept it, but you can never make it, so what's the point? There's also different bits of equipment here. So different equipment have different effects on your skills. You do gain skills by doing work, which is quite fun. There's a little bit of an RPG element in there. There's different bits of equipment that you can equip. Now, that's why I've got Gendry with his good mining equipment. That gives +2 to his mining level, which is very nice. Now, currently, his mining level is 4 +2, because I do send him down the mine quite a bit. So we can send him down the mine there, and he can then get some more ore for us. He'll stick that in this little chest there, and then we can turn that ore into yeah, we can do that into ingots, and then we can make stuff with it. So far, so good. So that's basically that's the basic gameplay sort of loop, if you like. Now, you may notice that some of the people that come up here have different colours. You might notice the border here. That's because different people who come to your shop belong to different factions. There's also events that can have an effect. So this game is set during the 100 Years' War, where, of course, England was invading France, probably for the slightly better weather. And as such, we have some factions here. Now, there's 5 factions in all, sort of 3 main ones and 2 minor ones, if you like. So the 3 main ones are, you've got England, France, and the Bandits. The further right the banner, the better. The further left, the worse. So as you can see, England does not like me very much. I'm an enemy of the crown, I'm a French bootlicker, and I have supply issues. So these are negative effects that you gain by basically pissing off this faction. Now, if you do work for the French, that's the people wearing blue. Then you'll gain positive relations with France. Now, I have been doing work for bandits. Now, if you do work for bandits, they're grey people wearing hoods. Then you basically piss off both England and France. There's also the clergy and, I guess, witches. Now, just as you get negative effects for doing, for pissing off the major factions, you get benefits for pleasing them. So, for example, the bandits like me, and because of that, they're scary people, so basically we don't need to pay our workers. And a bouncer is going to demand additional 2 gold from every merchant that appears at Smithy. Equally, the clergy like us, and so we are a servant of God, so we're freed from the English and French taxes in favour of the Hurley Church, which means we will pay half as much tax as usual. And alms to the poor, a beggar who demands an additional 2 coins from every soldier and knight appears at the Smithy. Equally, we've also pleased the witches, so thunder strike him down, you get a strike. You can strike the tax collector with lightning once every 4 days. Failing to pay taxes won't affect your reputation in any way. And a coin for your fortune. A fortune teller demands an additional 2 gold coins for every peasant that appears near the forge. So, by doing work for certain factions, that can please them. To be honest, pleasing the witches and clergy doesn't seem difficult. I think doing work for the bandits will always piss off the major factions. So, I've been trying to get the French back on side by doing work for them and telling the bandits to piss off, which seems to be having an effect, which is good because the negative modifiers you're getting from the main factions is kind of annoying. So that's one part of it. The other part is, of course, sometimes they want things that are slightly more advanced than you can currently create. You can see if I click on Arthur here, he actually has the instruments and tools and jewellery books, which means he can make things so this is a bandit, guys, so we'll tell him to naff off. So you can make things from that particular selection of items that people might ask for. Now you can do that by building a library. So you can extend your house effectively. So we've actually made another little building here. And there's various different things I could do, but I do need another library. So I'm going to build a library here. So I'm going to do that. And then I need to put some things in it. So we need a small bookshelf, which I'll put there. We also need a table, and we also need a chair. Like there. Okay, so that should tick. There we go. Right, so we don't currently have any books there, but we don't have enough money really, and but that's fine. So we've now got another library. So I think each bookcase, and you need a book. You can't have multiple bookcases per library. You need one bookcase for each library. So that means we can now get some more books, which means we can potentially build some more things, or at least create new things. He's English. He can get stuffed. Fuck you, Brexit. And that means we can make more stuff. Now, currently, what I really need to do is upgrade my house, because prestige is a big thing. So currently we have 69 prestige, the sexiest amount of prestige to have, but we could have more. And to get more, we need to upgrade our house. Sure. So to upgrade our house, we basically need to make it look nicer. Now, there's a bunch of things you can upgrade, like the roof, the walls, all that kind of thing. Now, because I've pissed the English off, it costs more to do it. However, if we upgrade something, like say we were to upgrade the roof of this little room here, that would give us an additional 3 fame. What that means is it would increase the cap of fame by 3. So you need to basically tart up your house. That'll increase the maximum amount of prestige you can have, and then by doing jobs, it increases that prestige. So the idea is you sort of tart your house up, get the higher cap, and then you can upgrade your smithy and stuff. Now, that is quite a slow job, particularly because I've pissed off the English, so it costs a lot of money to do upgrades, which is a bit of a pain, but, it's fine. However, I would say currently, there's not really much beyond what I'm doing now. Basically, you'll just keep doing it until you have enough money to upgrade your house, and then you just keep ticking along. Now, that's fine. Now, obviously, this game is in early access, so there is that. We'll work for frog legs, or I'll pay later. So sometimes they ask for, debt, and they might come pay or they might not. But you can, you can take the job. And to be honest, seeing as like the ore is free, it's not really a major issue. Now, one of the things you do need to do is your guys will get tired and hungry. So currently, Arthur here is hungry. You can see that his hunger bar has dropped a little bit. Now, if their hunger and endurance, which is they need to sleep for, drops too much, their health will actually start to go down. And it'll start to go down before it warns you about it. I actually had one of my characters die because I didn't realise that was the case. So I was playing the campaign, and my apprentice dropped dead because I didn't realise his health was dropping for being tired. So we can send like Gendry to bed over here, so he'll hobble off to bed, have a little nap, and feel better about that. Arthur's not super happy. He needs some... Oh, do we not have any food? Yeah, we do. Get over here and make some food, you lose. Stupid bastard. There we go. So he's now making himself some dinner. So I'll take a look. You can increase speed. There we go. Now, something I noticed that if they're hungry, they will make the food and then just wander off. So you need to tell them to eat it, because otherwise they forget about it. I guess that's why this game's in early access. But then we can send him to bed. So now his meal satisfaction is fine, and we just need to get his endurance satisfaction up. Your health will increase once both of those are over 90%. However, it's quite hard to keep them at 90%, because even as they sleep, they'll get hungry, and then of course they'll, it's a constant battle. But overall fine. And it looks like there's also wooden stuff that you can do, so I would assume there's like additional buildings you can build to sort of increase that. So generally quite good. I quite like what this game is starting to do. With that said, hitting those bugs in the campaign, which basically stopped me from playing it, has made me a little bit nervous. Because they were fairly obvious bugs to hit. And I feel like maybe that should have been looked at. It's not a great first impression. So, the game is currently a tenner on Steam. It's from a fairly small developer as well. But I probably would say, if you're interested, if you're looking at this and going, this looks interesting, I would agree, but maybe just wishlist it and keep an eye on it for when it fully releases, and then see what people say. As I say, that first game they released does have mixed reviews and seems to have been abandoned with some significant issues already in it. Now that could be, it could be unrelated. Maybe they had issues there. I don't know, but it looks like it was in that game was in early access for a long time. Never really hit its potential, which does give me a little bit of concern there. So I do like what this game is starting to do. I do want to keep an eye on its development. Currently, I would say maybe just hold off for a little bit. But it is quite fun, and I like the aesthetic. And, I like me some simulators. I like this kind of thing. This is very easy to get into. And I think particularly with a campaign where you have people kind of like, you've got the local duke that comes to you and says, I need you to make 6 swords. And then the English commander comes to you and goes, I want you to make some stuff. And you've got that decision to make about who you're going to support. And also, if you want to maybe try and make not so good quality swords, and will that have an effect? Because you can also have different events as well. So there's currently spring, a quiet place, either the war has moved far away from the region, but there could be there's a battle happening nearby, and at that point you've got cart full of soldiers marching past and carts of broken weapons and stuff going past. Currently the bandits control the village behind us, but if it's the French control it, then obviously the French flags are there, and French people move back and forth. I had a religious festival, so there was lots and lots of monks coming to buy stuff, and pretty much everyone was asking for religious iconography and stuff like that to make. So there's stuff like that, which is really interesting. So I do think this game has really good potential. I am a little bit nervous about the capability of the developers to reach that potential, though. However, this looks interesting, then definitely keep an eye on it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.